Hey, yeah, oh, 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 yeah.
You know who I am?
Anything you say. Anything you say.
What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Thomas back again with another rendition of Truth Be Told. Now, nothing new is going on in the news. You know, they're still talking about the tariffs. They got to give a little time. Like he just did them, and then they're like all on his ass about it. That's the left for you. Anyways, you have tons of countries that are coming into the fold and trying to make deals. China is like a last holdout, but they're going to eventually make a deal too, I guarantee it. They need us more than we need them. I've seen that they're going to make a Beetlejuice 3. I really don't know why. That last movie was literally god awful. Jenna Ortega cannot act worth a shit. I do not like her. Plus, she's a super feminist. It was literally the same story as the first one, except they took out the daddy. Can't have no white male in there. Fucking idiots. Anyways, I think, to be honest, I think she should have had a son, not a daughter. And they changed the story a little bit. But no, we can't make things interesting. We gotta go with the same bland bullshit every time. Same story. Just different actors. Anyways. I saw that they're going to, well, it's just a rumor, but they're going to make Meryl Streep the voice of Aslan, the lion from the Chronicles of Narnia, which makes entirely no sense. They're going off feminism with this new Narnia bullshit. That's dumb. I also saw, well, most people already know about it. Whoever's casting for this Harry Potter series is an freaking artard. They're a tard. Nobody's going to watch it because they've already blatantly come out and said they're racist. You know, that's why they're casting a black guy for Professor Snape. It makes no sense whatsoever. They're just doing it to piss off the fans. That's literally the only reason why they're doing it. Let's see. I think that's pretty much about it. May have been a couple things I might have missed. I don't know. I don't. Anything new that I seen. Like I said, it really wasn't. Everybody pretty much knows most of it. So as I've said before, even if you don't watch the channel regularly, and you've only seen a couple videos or you don't watch it at all, it only takes 2 seconds to hit that subscribe button. It doesn't affect you or your channel whatsoever. It just helps this channel grow. So please subscribe. Also, I have another channel. It's called Easy Does It. It's The link is in the About section. Check it out if you like gaming vlogs and reviews and reactions to other YouTube channels. Okay. Again, subscribe. Let's get on to what I really want to talk to you about this week. I went ahead, as I promised. I said I might do this. I went ahead and I watched that fucking Minecraft movie. It was okay for what it was. They didn't take themselves too seriously. There wasn't a whole shit ton of politics in the movie. It was just them being goofy. I've never played the video game. Never cared for it. Not my type of game. But there's millions of people who love that game. And I don't know why, because it's one of the stupidest fucking games I've ever fucking seen. It is dumb. But anyways, yeah, the movie didn't take itself seriously. They were just having fun, like they were goofing off or some shit. Which is okay in the short term, but in the long run, it's not going to go over real well. I mean, it did decent at the box office, but it still didn't do all that great. It beat out Snow White. Boy, I wonder why. Jason, I can't stand Jason Momoa. I can't. The guy cannot act. I've seen him maybe in one or two shows that I thought he did all right in. Like the television show called See, S-E-E, where all the people are blind or whatever. He actually did a decent job in that, you know, his character. You know, it was actually pretty decent. But most of his he sucks. He cannot. He destroyed Conan. That Conan movie was god awful. But anyways, and he's sure the fuck ain't no freaking Aquaman. The worst casting ever for a superhero. But anyways, they make his character look like a fucking idiot in this movie. I mean, he's dumber than a box of rocks. Whatever. And of course, you know, Jack Black, the fucking, you know, the super nerd. He's the really cool, badass dude. I hate that shit. He does that when you know he's a fucking nerd and a half. You know, he's a geek. But whatever. He always tries to play like he's this super cool dude, and he's not. There was one scene in the movie that really drove me up the wall. They had a cringe scene where the two girls were screaming, yelling through most of the movie at the beginning. You know, oh no, there's zombies and blah blah blah, and then piglets, and they're trying to kill us. Ah, you know, the two girls. And then, like, a good way portion after the village, all of a sudden, there's super chicks, you know, boss babes, you know, they're like killing everything like it's nothing. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here. It was so cringy. But it kind of reminded me like a little bit of Mario World or some shit. Some of the stuff, like the, I don't know, the flying balloons that spit fire and had tentacles. They They kind of remind me of shit from like Mario World or some shit like that. But other than that, and then that scene where he's talking to the witch towards the end, and she tries to stab him like 3 fucking times. It was the dumbest joke ever. You know, it's like, oh, let's tell it again. Nope. Okay, let's tell it again. Nope. Let's try one more time. You know, I said, seriously, it's such a dumb joke. Anyways, it was okay. I didn't hate it, but I didn't really super like it either. Plus, I'm not a fan of the game, so no nostalgia shit for me. I give a thumbs up and a thumbs down. It's okay for a one-time watch, but the graphics, oh my gosh, they could have done so much better with that CGI shit. But it reminded me like that god-awful show Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, where they outline the character and then, you know, put him in front of a screen. Like you could tell it was, they should have just CGI'd the whole fucking thing. The graphics were terrible. When they try to interact the humans with the cartoon, it was just, it was awful. But like I said, maybe a one-time watch. Anyways, let's get on to your B movie reviews. Alright, movie holics. This week is Sci-Fi Week. Sometimes you have cross genres. You mix like sci-fi and action. You know, you have 2 different genres in it. I'm trying to get through these Universal Soldier movies. I got 2 more to go after these 2. We'll get to them as soon as we can. Hopefully I get them on the next Action Week. This is Sci-Fi Week though. We're continuing with the Universal Soldiers. Universal Soldier 3 is called The Unfinished Business. Now, I have a subscriber who's or viewer who's asked or made a couple of suggestions. Sal, I just call him Sal. He's a long-time viewer. I'll get to him. I got you, bud. Don't worry. I got you, bro. I'll get to the one that you suggested, and I'll do one more Burt Reynolds movie. Oh my gosh. You and them Burt Reynolds movies, Sal, I swear. Anyways, technically, Universal Soldier 2 and 3 are Burt Reynolds movies. He's in them. He's the villain. Yeah, I know that's not what you meant, but no, I'll choose a different one for next action week. But anyways, uh, Unfinished Business is the title for the second one. Yes, the second one and third one was TV made movies, Canadian TV made movies. You had a few decent actors in it. You had Gary Busey in two, and in this one, in both of these, you have Burt Reynolds. The others were all, I don't know, they actors I'd never heard of before. I don't know if you guys remember the Canadian studio that took over the Sci-Fi channel back in the 90s. It was called Asylum Pictures, and they would put out the most god-awful movies, sci-fi movies, straight to video shit. You could rent them at the video stores when there were video stores. Yeah, Asylum Pictures. It wasn't the stories, it was the actors, and this, the special effects were just god awful. But anyways, these TV made movies, they're cheesy, but they're not super awful like that. But anytime I hear Canadian movie, I think of Asylum Pictures, because they were just so bad. Now, in this one, you of course have Matt Baglia, or so, however you pronounce his name. Chandra West, and of course Burt Reynolds is in this one. I'm surprised they could even do a third one. Now, even though these two are direct sequels to the first movie, when they do the return, they kind of skip these two movies. They ignore them and do a different type of sequel. They're both sequels, they're just different stories. One's theatrical, the other one's for TV. These are for TV, 2 and 3. But they're still considered a part of the Universal Soldier franchise. Now, this was done in 1998. There is no box office now because it's direct to video or TV made movie, whatever. Now, the guy who's playing Jean-Claude Van Damme's part, they still make him like he's an artard. Like he don't know what's going on. She has to explain a bunch of crap to him. I'm like, come on, no, he wasn't like that towards the end of the first movie. Stop that crap. Because it's talking like he don't know what... you get what I mean. Bert's character wants to reinitiate the Universal Soldier program again. He's got all new recruits. He's even got a female soldier in this one, which they do a whole big old sequence between the two girls. The reporter, who has no military experience, doesn't know how to fight, but yet they have this big fight scene. I'm just like, get the fuck out of here. Oh my gosh, so cringe. Anyways, yeah, so he's wanting to start the whole thing over, and then this time around, Matt is trying to help stop him. He runs into his brother again. They clone his brother and make him a uni soldier again. But this time, they implant a bomb in him. What they call cyanide pills, that the Russians used to take, or spies, to kill themselves. They plant a bomb in him for insurance, is what they claimed it was, in case he went rogue. And they kill him again. And he's all like, "Oh, you killed my brother again." And he goes off on them and kills them all. And then at the end, they catch him on video, Burt Reynolds on video, and he tells them a bunch of crap about, he basically admits what he was doing. And that's the end of the movie. He goes to jail, blah, blah, blah. That's it. It was just a cheesy story. It was goofy. I mean, I didn't really care for it. I gave it 2 thumbs down. I just didn't like it. I didn't like the second one. I didn't like this one. The TV movies, just, you can watch it if you want. And then the next one is called Universal Soldier: The Return. Now, like I said, they skipped the TV made movies and did their own theatrical sequel version to this. But it's kind of strange, because in this one he supposedly goes back to being human, or full-fledged human, which makes no sense because his genetics were altered to make him undead. Like it was a permanent situation. So how he reverts back to being human when he's already been dead makes no sense. Anyways, Jean-Claude Van Damme reprises his role with Heidi Shans. It was done in 1999 and made about 11 million worldwide. Now, of course, Heidi plays a different reporter, because apparently Jean-Claude Van Damme's character, Luke, his wife dies. I guess they got married. The first reporter from the first movie, she dies. They have a daughter. He now has a daughter. I think she's like 12, 13, somewhere around there. Anyways, you have this machine called Seth. I forget what it stands for. The Seth is a machine that, for whatever reason, I don't get it. In this one, you'd think he'd be done with the Universal Soldier crap, but he goes back to this company and helps the government create another group of Universal Soldiers with this Seth computer controlling them. Well, Seth goes nuts, which is played by Jay White. He's more of a kickboxer or martial artist than he is an actor. He's not that great of an actor, but he's okay. Anyways, he goes nuts and he decides to take over the program because there's a general from the government comes in and says, "We're shutting down everything, including Seth." And Seth's like, "Nope, don't think so." So he puts a chip in Jay White's brain, his body or whatever, and he kind of takes over the whole thing. But there's a code that only Jean-Claude Van Damme knows, or his character Luke knows. And through the entire movie, he's trying to get this code from him. Now he has to fight Bill Goldberg. Yes, the wrestler, Bill Goldberg. He's a uni soldier, and he's got to fight him several times throughout the movie. And, they try to make it comical where Goldberg's does stupid crap and ends up screwing himself over and over again, but it wasn't really that funny. It was just kind of dumb. Anyways, towards the end, he blows up the facility, destroys all the uni soldiers, and everyone goes home. That's the end. Lives happily ever after. It was alright. It wasn't real. even though it was a different type of sequel, I didn't. I just didn't get the part where genetically he's dead. You can't go back to being living. So that didn't make no sense to me. But anyways, thumbs up, thumbs down. One time watch maybe. It was alright, but it wasn't really that great. Anyways, that's all I have for you this week. Like I said, I still got 2 more to go. And after I get those 2 done, Sal, I'll get to yours. Your action movies. If you could think of any type of movie you think I've never even heard of, underrated, B-rated, you know, that's what I look for. That's what I like to review the most. You know, I don't mind doing A-listers, but I prefer to do the ones that most people don't know about. Leave your suggestions down in the comment section down below. I'll get to reviewing them as soon as I can. But to have to confide in, you know, like if it's an action movie, it'll be on the action week. Sci-fi movie, it'll be on sci. You get what I'm saying, sci-fi week. But anyways, if you have anything, any thoughts about what I talked about earlier in the video, please leave your thoughts down in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear from you. So, until next time, I told you you'd be told the truth, and you've just been told.